Great segue there, Tom. I love it.
That's what I do for a living, my friend. That's why Andre pays me the big bucks.
We are
I know
supposed
how
to
to
talk about the
segue.
Pirates. Here we go. So I have watched the entirety of One Piece. Loving these stingers from you, culture. Absolutely love it. I've watched the entirety of One Piece. I released my review today. It's a great show. It's genuinely a great show. And before we get on to this, because basically it is being review bombed. I say review bombed, and I take that with a pinch of salt. It's not like universally review bombed. But the people that are reviewing it negatively are reviewing it negatively for the most ridiculous reasons. And it needs to be highlighted because it's hilarious. So I say review bombed in the lightest possible sense. But I want to get your opinions of it, those that have seen any element of One Piece now. I know culture, you've seen some, and Tom has seen some.
Right before this show. Andre?
I have not seen it yet.
That's absolutely fine. What did you think of it, Tom? As someone who's got no association with it at all whatsoever.
Okay, yeah. Full disclosure.
Episode, didn't you?
Never read one of the mangas, never seen one of the animes, never really even knew what it was about. I've heard people talk about One Piece time and time again. The only thing I know about One Piece is that it's like the longest running manga / anime series in the history, whatever, because they've got like 30 seasons and like some 900 some odd books or whatever it is. Anyway, I don't know anything about that stuff. So you need to know that first and foremost. What I do love so far, even though I have no horse in this race yet until today when I watched the first episode, that I love seeing the nerd fights about this. You want to know why? Not a single one of them has been about woke shit. It has been about pedantic nerd shit. It is like, finally, we're getting back to pedantic nerd arguments where it's like this and that is a problem, or this wasn't like the original thing, and why did they change this? That being said, watch the first episode. I had no idea this was even about pirates until I started watching it. I kind of liked it. You know what really kind of started sucking me in is the world. The world was, this is something we've had a problem with, and this is something Script Doctor and I talk about all the time, is you have to make your world believable. You can do anything you want in your movie as long as it's a part of that world and you make the world believable. And that's why a lot of people are sick and tired of real world politics making their way into any kind of movies, because unless you're going to see a movie that's supposed to be about those things, that's what you want to see. You want to be in a world taken away. And I love that this is like a world that's built on the idea that it's a world of piracy and you've got this whole thing going on. And I like the main character. The kid, I understand he's likable, right? Because not to spoil anything, but like I've only seen the first episode, so I have no idea what happens after this. But I like how you have these reluctant people joining his crew.
Yeah.
Because sort of like, I can understand, because he is likable, and it's because he just doesn't give up, and he has this just way about him, right?
Whimsical
and this is the kind
charm.
Yes, a whimsical charm about him. The actor, the kid they got playing him, I don't know anything about the original version of the character, but this kid's brilliant. I like listening to him talk. I love the way he talks. I love the way he acts. I love his shtick, because it kind of reminds me of a Jackie Chan kind of whimsical thing, like you said, with his fighting style. And when you find out he's got this special power, it's kind of funny how he uses it and stuff. And they do a great job of introducing you to everything as you need to know it. It's not overly shadowed with all this other business, and I'm not drugged through the mud waiting to find shit out. Something happens, I'm told how come, and then I move on. That's what I need. And so far, I'm enjoying it. I'm going to go back and I'm going to watch some more when I get some time. That's my problem, is being able to fit, this kind of stuff in my schedule. But I'm surprised. I'm not an anime fan normally, but I am a Kung Fu movie fan. So there's enough of that kind of shit in here. So that's what it is to me right now. Is like, if you took pirates and mixed it with Kung Fu, this is what you get.
Yeah, you are completely wrong. Culture, what did you think of it, chap?
I didn't get to see it, but based on what I've seen of the manga, I thought it was great. Based on what I've seen of the anime, I think it's great. I mean, looking at the visuals, I think it represents everything well, but I can't speak to it.
Did you not watch it at all?
I didn't get a chance to. No, I saw a couple. I saw a couple of clips. You didn't say anything. It's always my fault.
Well, so just to put it out there, the reason why I didn't say anything about getting anyone to watch this was I didn't have high hopes for it.
Oh wow.
And then I watched it and I'm like, oh, god damn, this is really good.
Yeah.
And I stayed up until 12:30 last night to watch it. And then I finished it today and I was like, this is amazing. Like, I had such a good time with it. But again, the reason why we're including this as part of the segment is that, you know, Tom is a great entry point to this topic because, like I said, lightheartedly, and I use the term loosely, it's being review bombed. Now, you'll see this number, 83 critics. It's not actually that. So you go to the top critics, it's 62%. So what we'll do is we'll go and have a look at what they actually say. And the negative ones are the most hilarious about it. So we'll go to all critics. Sorry, we'll go to all critics. So, oh no, all audience. Jesus Christ. All critics. Sorry, right, here we go. So Tom, you raised an interesting point. You've never seen it at all, but you know, they start coming out with the most nonsensical pieces of crap you've ever seen. The legions of existing fans will likely eagerly enlist in this ocean-faring adventure. Bearing in mind, you're right, Tom. It is literally one of the longest-running, well-liked anime mangas of all time. So they're saying this is a negative. The legions of fans will like it. What? So a lot of people, you mean? The majority? Fucking idiots. And who knows? They might find plenty of company. Still, this is for you, Tom. Those who just want to see what the fuss is all about will likely be left feeling high and dry. Were you left feeling high and dry, Tom?
Some of the stuff I liked about it might be subjective. I'm not going to say that it won't be, but I don't feel like I was left going, well, what's that mean? Well, what's this all about? Oh my God, this is dragging on. Like any moment where I did feel like it was kind of slowing down a bit, we would get some kind of action sequence or whatever, but the characters are constantly moving and you've got like different, you know, goals that intersect, you know, in that first episode. And I wish I could talk beyond that right now, but like, you know, so like in that sense, no, I haven't seen later in the show though, so I can't speak to if it gets better or worse. I'm only going off of one episode.
Yeah. This one's a funny one from Pramit Chatterjee. It says Netflix One Piece is a horrible show. It's essentially a Cliff Notes version of the anime. Well, it's a manga adaptation, bud. So you got that wrong. So it's actually a manga adaptation. When he says, you know, it's trying to be over the top and it shoves the camera in people's faces, I mean, that's literally what page it's taken directly from the pages of the manga, is that the framing is literally people's faces nonstop. So yeah, tends to be like that. So the complaints from people are quite literally the good things that people like about the show, that it is fan service and stuff. Polygon, there is a real treasure to be found here, a genuine celebration of Ichiro Oda's work. Just under the surface of these 8 episodes, maybe we'd see it if the show came from anywhere else. I massively disagree with that. That's not like review bombing specifically. So there's this one. Look, if the best result one can hope for is an approximation of the original, close or far, what does this version of One Piece provide that the original can't? Do you know what adaptation means?
Yeah, and I'm not sitting down and reading 900 volume fucking manga, or there's no way I can consume 30 years worth of anime shows. No way.
She's literally complaining that it's close to the original. Well, what does this give that the original can't? Access to people that don't want to read it, like you just said, Tom, maybe? Like,
yeah, that's where I'm at. Sometimes I want that. That's what I know what the movie or the TV adaptation is. It's like, give me that. Like, I don't need all this extra shit sometimes, you know. It's not into that all the time.
Apparently, as well, Netflix One Piece feels bland and generic. Those bland and generic, you know, gum bazooka, you know, gum superpowers and things. That's definitely bland and generic. I see that in everything. I see that in my sitcoms. I see pirates in my sitcoms, don't you? That's very bland and generic, Tom. As the only person that's seen it as well. Do you feel this is bland and generic?
Considering that the only pirate thing we've had in the last, decade or two that's actually worked has been Pirates of the Caribbean, and we just got off a story where we can see where that thing's about to fall off a cliff without Johnny Depp. I'd have to say that this is one of the more interesting pirate things I've seen in a while, because I think that's where Disney Star Wars has really screwed the pooch, is when you're going to do a space pirate movie and you pick Han Solo and you literally give him the same arc he has in Star Wars when it's like, we didn't get to see him be a pirate.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be this great space pirate, and he's not. He's just he's a sucker for a pretty face, basically, is what we've learned.
So,
Yeah.
there was
Sorry, that was off
topic.
topic, but no, like I like the melding of the two kind of styles here. With, like I said, it's like a kung fu movie meets with a little bit of superhero movie in there too, with the the power. But
There was a hilarious CNN one as well. Oh, here we go. So if you look into this a little bit further, this is how bad they get, and it is really, really bad in terms of what their complaints are. So, so again, their complaint, guys, is literally billed by the Daily Beast as the most hyped Netflix show of the year. One Piece has clearly been assembled with tender love and care, no small amount of Netflix's money. That's all good, right? Wrong, apparently. Conjuring the occasional giant monster, elaborate action sequence, and sword fights, as well as bizarre makeup that looks like rejected outtakes from Lord of the Rings, plus Netflix.
whoa, slow down, time out there. Which Lord of the Rings?
Yeah. Well, this is true.
Because I'll tell you what, there was only one time in this first episode that I noticed any kind of, let's say, the seams showing, and that was when, the one character was jumping from rope to rope. You could see that his jacket was being pulled up by his line that they removed digitally. That's the only time I noticed anything. And other than that, the CGI and how this all blends and stuff looks a hell of a lot better than all the. I could tell they weren't using the what do you call it, volume stages or anything here. It didn't look like, to me at least. So I could be wrong, but it sure didn't look like it.
Yeah, and then they're like, oh, it's based on the most popular manga series ever, quarter century.
The wigs are a little chintzy. I see Wolf Zombie bring that up, but I didn't know if that was because they're trying to make it like, that was the thing, is the way I see this world and the way I see these characters, they're trying to be stylistic. So I mean, I that didn't bother me, I guess. I don't know.
And they're even like, look, this live action Netflix series version of the outlandish pirate adventure feels like a poor place to start, offering scant incentive to bother trying to catch up now. It's honestly, it's all over the place. These reviews are madness. They say how good the VFX are and things. The VFX are amazing. Didn't you feel like the set pieces were incredible?
I thought they were fine. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I haven't gotten beyond the first episode, so yeah. I mean, they showed a trailer for what's to come, and it looked like there's some pretty outlandish stuff to come. But
mate, so good. The set pieces are absolutely unbelievable. You will.
Well, what are these critics expecting? I mean, unless they know the original anime and manga,
they don't.
That's what I'm saying. Because look, I get it. After one episode is all I needed to understand this.
Apparently, they don't understand it. It's bland and generic.
What? I've never seen anything like this. Are they expecting, like, what is bland and generic about it?
Well, generic. Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, wait. What is? Check this out, Tom. Later in the episodes, you'll see that they communicate via telephone snails.
Yeah, well, I saw that in the first. Yeah, they do have one in the first thing where it's like, oh, okay, that's
weird. That's generic enough. I've seen that in everything.
No, that kind of took, like, that's what I'm saying. It's kind of hard for me just to say it's kung fu meets pirates, because there is more to it. You're right. There's sort of more layers to it. Like, that's something almost felt like something out of like Dune, right, or something like that, or like some other kind of sci-fi thing. Like, there's a lot of those elements they're throwing in here, but you also have this. You can clearly tell what they're setting up with. He has this map now, and the other bigger pirates are going to keep coming after him. The bigger pirates on the list, because they keep making this list a big deal. And that's the kung fu part of it, right? Like, I get it.
You'll see it. Like, it becomes a sort of villain of the week, but it's fun.
I get it.
It's an anime. It's a manga, for goodness sake. So I don't know. It's like, what do these fucking critics want at this point? Seriously, like, Netflix
have a bunch of freaking preaching in it. That's what I noticed. Like,
well, you will see, Tom, if you keep watching it, you'll see. And I think this is what irked them as well, is that there's a scene with a boy and a girl, young. It's a flashback, and the girl says to the boy, "Girls can beat boys, but women can't beat men. What's the point of me even trying? Because you'll grow and get stronger, and men, beat women easily." And it's like, oh, I bet the critics didn't like that. Oh, fuck off, honestly.
That's not totally true because women have pussy power when they become women.
Oh my god! You're right. Anyway. Are you going to keep watching it though, Tom? To round out this segment, are you going to keep watching it? Do you think?
I think I will. I'm going to definitely check in at least to another episode or two because Yellow Flash is trying to force us to watch it for this weekend anyway.
Mate, you will get hooked. Honestly, you will.
I mean,
keep watching it.
so far I'm liking it. I mean, and I don't like things very easily, as you know. Like I'm a pretty salty dude. So
I think Yellow Flash is happy to welcome you to Weebhood.
don't get ahead of yourself. I seen that in the chat too. There ain't that no way I'm getting near close to becoming a weeb or starting to watch any anime shit. Yeah,
Culture,
chill.
will you watch it? Do you?
Oh
do you
yeah,
wanna
no,
watch
for
it?
sure. I just haven't had time. No, indeed.
Andre, this might not be your cup of tea, but do you like what you hear at the very least?
Absolutely, do I like it? I'm very, very glad that the fans are liking it. Maybe in time I will check it out too. Is it my cup of tea? Like in terms of like content, like manga stuff in general? No. But you know what? That doesn't matter. Not everything has to be for me. What I see is it's something that brings a lot of joy to a lot of people, and so I'm happy. I'm very glad that it does. I'm glad that they nailed it. You know why? Because even if this thing here by default isn't for me, maybe I watched and I love it. That could very well be. But more importantly, Netflix will be rewarded by, hey, this was the right way to do it. People like this. People are watching this in the same way that they didn't with The Witcher. But they did watch Stranger Things. Maybe we got something right on those two. Maybe we should consider doing what we did on those two and other things as well. Wouldn't that be something? See,
well, this is what I'm hoping that the lesson that they learn.
Yeah, that's what they should take away from this. And then maybe one day I can get my Mysterious Cities of Gold, which is not technically manga, I guess, although the Japanese and the animation was Japanese back in the day.
If you don't like it, I think you'll still turn around and respect it for what it's trying to do.
Yeah, I do. I
know your taste well enough to kind of gauge that at least out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.